Howdy peeps, welcome to or welcome back to the channel. And I thought we'd do something a bit different today. We're going to look at what my weekly tank maintenance schedule is. Now, to some it might seem like I'm not doing enough, to others it might seem I'm going a bit cray-cray. Someone it might seem about right, but we shall see. So, this is generally where I start out with the fry rack, which is basically 7 tanks of bristlenose plecos and some mollies and limias. But what I will also do before we go any further is how I measure my water changes. I measure them via bucket and jug. Now it's a UK 3-gallon bucket and a 2-litre jug. So in other words, 7 jugs is 1 bucket. So first tank I get to is the bottom tank, which gets a bucket and both filters cleaned. This is on a Monday. I've just done it. Hence why they've got nice yummy fresh courgette in there. So 1 bucket and a filter clean in there on the Monday. Then between the rest of the fry tanks it's 1 bucket per 2 tanks. So it will get, say, 3 jugs, 4 jugs, 3 jugs, 4 jugs, etc. Obviously all the filters will get cleaned out at the same time, and generally every other week I demulmify the tanks. So we come back up to this one. We look over the back, you can see there's a bit of mulm developing. Same in this one, nice little pile of mulm. So every couple of weeks we clear that out, give the filters more of a deep clean to fully degunk whatever's in there, and go from there. Also, while we're over here, we'll use the water to feed the courgette and the herbs. We literally do nothing to that tub except top it up with water out of the water butt, so rainwater as and when required. I'll keep camera pointing at tankies. There's the next one we come to is my first tank, the Flex. Now this one normally gets a full bucket full and a filter clean on a Monday. Sometimes we need to do a little bit more because you can see it's a bit of a jungle in there and muck does tend to congregate sometimes, especially with the breeder box in there, which is pretty much a permanent thing. So we're still on Monday, we're there. Next ones are the Cory tank, which typically all the Cories are hiding, so all we can see is trumpet snails, golden white clouds and ember. Again, 4 jugs, then 3 jugs out of the mini Flex. You might think that's quite a bit for what looks just like a shrimp tank with a pygmy Cory in it, but there is a trio of clown plecos in here as well, so it does generate quite a bit of murk. And that's where I try to get to on a Monday minimum. So then either on the Tuesday, or usually the Tuesday, we come and we do the blue shrimp tank. That's normally 1 jug, and when it's running, which is currently empty because the skittles are outside, 1 jug, and we fill up the bucket, generally 5 jugs out of the Shelly tank. Obviously we're cleaning the filters in each tank every week. Then we get another bucket out of the new tank, the 64 litre Panorama. We just say hello to Doug because Doug is very cool, and the limias. And you might just see down there we've got a lot of criblets in here. And the final one that gets done is big tank, which this one is also dependent on breeder boxes. Because if we had the breeder box in with, as we have at the moment, a batch of 150 bristle noses in there, we do a 2 bucket water change, so that brings the water level down to about there. If we do a 3 bucket water change, it comes down below the breeder box. So 3 buckets when there's no breeder box, 2 when there is. Obviously clean out the filters, pull any algae, scrape the glass if I need to, trim any plants. Same goes for all the tanks, and we're done. No, we're not. This is where things get silly, because I breed plecos. Plecos poop a lot, so usually by Friday we're back to water changing these guys again, although it's not necessarily for the water change, it's to have some water to clean the filters out again. Because believe it or not, some of these filters will clog up in 3 or 4 days and need degunking again. Now, we've got a couple that shouldn't be in there, a bit too big. They're ones that escaped last time I was selling them. But yeah, so that's it. And throughout the week I keep an eye. If I notice certain signs, like all the bristle noses are at the top of the tank, they're all up at top around the glass, it's like, yeah, we need to do a water change in there. Or things are getting cloudy, like that one is, but that has just had a water change, so we won't worry about it. They get cloudy because sometimes the air filters, or the sponge filters, stop working because some nerky ghost cat keeps pulling the bloody air lines off of the pump. You can see how short they're getting. That's so I keep having to trim the ends off of them because you keep putting bloody tooth holes in the bloody air pipes. Well, we've got another SKP, or a couple larger bristly noses in there as well, so at some point we're going to have to dig those out and catch them. But yeah, that is generally my water change routine. So we end up with Monday, excuse me, either Monday or Monday and Tuesday. We go through 10 buckets, and usually Thursday or Friday, maybe Saturday, there's another couple of buckets, literally just cleaning out all these filters again. And no, I don't have issues with tanks crashing and losing cycles because I've cleaned out the filters. I'll get bacterial blooms, yes, but I don't get crashes. So while that looks cloudy, that's not because there's ammonia in it. That's because there's a bacterial bloom going on. It's not doing any harm to anything. It's just the way it is. So, fairly short and sweet, but I thought it might be interesting to just go through my basic weekly maintenance schedule. Obviously, if there's anything I see needs doing in between, like babies need moving, or someone's died and needs pulling out of a tank, then I do that. Or like a certain plecky boy is back in the cave again, then yeah, we start counting days till we've got a decave plecklets. But other than that, it's usually fairly simple. So hope that's shown you a bit of what it takes to run 15 fish tanks and keep them clean and healthy. Anyway, enjoy your hobby, have fun, peace out. Like, comment, subscribe. Any questions or points, stick them down below in the comments. Rock on. Bye bye.